So you want to get into Warhammer 40k. Maybe you saw a cool video about Space Marines. Maybe you played Space Marine 2. Maybe your friend won't shut up about the Emperor. Whatever brought you here, you're about to enter one of the deepest, most insane, most rewarding fictional universes ever created. But here's the problem. Warhammer 40k is 37 years old. There are hundreds of novels, dozens of codexes, multiple video games, a tabletop game with thousands of models, and enough lore to fill a library. Where do you even start? That's what this video is for. I'm giving you the complete roadmap. By the end of this hour, you'll know exactly how to get into Warhammer 40k, whether you want the lore, the tabletop game, the video games, or all of it. I'm breaking down every entry point, every faction, every format, and every common mistake new fans make. This is the guide I wish existed when I started. No gatekeeping, no assuming you know anything, just pure guidance. Let's get you into the grimdark. First, let me answer the question you're probably asking. What even is Warhammer 40k? Here's the pitch. It's the year 40,000. Humanity rules 1,000,000 worlds across the galaxy, but we're dying. The Imperium of Man is a fascist theocracy where 1 trillion humans worship a corpse on a golden throne as a god. Technology is failing because we forgot how it works. Aliens want to eat us. Demons from hell want to corrupt us. Robots older than time want to exterminate us. And our own government is so bureaucratic and incompetent that planets can be lost for centuries and nobody notices. There is no hope. There is no peace. There is only war. That's Warhammer 40k. It's grim, dark science fantasy where everything is horrible and everybody's the bad guy. The Imperium are fascist zealots. The Eldar are dying space elves clinging to survival. The Tau are naive idealists who don't realize they're being manipulated. The Orcs just want to fight forever. The Tyranids are space locusts eating the galaxy. Chaos is literal hell invading reality. And the Necrons are angry robots who want their bodies back. It's over the top, it's brutal, it's satirical, and it's absolutely incredible. The tone is grim-dark, but the stories are genuinely compelling. You'll care about characters even though you know they're doomed. That's the magic of 40k. Now, here's what you need to understand before we go further. Warhammer 40k exists in multiple formats, and you can engage with any or all of them. There's the tabletop wargame where you build and paint armies and fight battles. There's the lore, which is told through novels, codexes, and wikis. There's video games, from first-person shooters to strategy games. And there's the community, the memes, the fan content. You don't have to do all of it. You can just read the books. You can just play the games. You can just collect and paint models and never play a game. It's all valid. So let's break down each entry point and I'll tell you exactly how to start with each one. Let's start with the lore, because that's probably why you're here. You want to understand the story, the factions, the characters. Here's the best way to get into Warhammer 40k lore without getting overwhelmed. Step 1. Watch a lore overview video. I know you're watching one right now, but I mean a pure lore summary. Luetin09 has a video called Welcome to Warhammer 40,000 that's incredible. Ricky has a 2-part series called Every Warhammer 40k Faction Explained that's hilarious and informative. Watch one of those first to get the basic layout of the setting. You need to understand what the Imperium is, what Chaos is, what the major factions are. Get the big picture before diving into details. Step 2. Pick one faction that interests you and learn about them specifically. Do not try to learn everything at once. You will drown in lore. Pick Space Marines if you like super soldiers. Pick Imperial Guard if you like normal humans fighting impossible odds. Pick Orcs if you like dumb fun. Pick Tyranids if you like cosmic horror. Pick Chaos if you like corruption and tragedy. Just pick one and deep dive on that faction for a week. Step 3. Read a novel about that faction. This is crucial. Novels are the best way to actually experience 40k because they make the setting feel real. If you picked Space Marines, read Horus Rising by Dan Abnett. If you picked Imperial Guard, read 15 Hours by Mitchell Scanlon. If you picked Chaos, read The First Heretic by Aaron Dembski Bowden. If you picked Tyranids, read Devastation of Baal by Guy Haley. If you picked Orcs, read Brutal Kunin by Mike Brooks. Novels make the lore click in a way wikis never will. Step 4. Use Lexicanum for reference. Lexicanum is the Warhammer 40k wiki, and it's your encyclopedia. Anytime you read a novel and encounter a term you don't know, look it up on Lexicanum. Don't use the regular fandom wiki. Use Lexicanum. It's more accurate and has citations. But don't read Lexicanum like a book. Use it as a reference tool. Step 5. Watch lore videos from your favorite creators. Once you have the foundation, lore videos become way more enjoyable because you understand the context. Luetin09 does deep dives. Major Kill does comedy lore. Weshammer does beginner-friendly explanations. Baldermort does atmospheric storytelling. Find the style you like. Now, let me give you the reading order. People always ask, where do I start with the novels? Here's my answer. Do not start with the Horus Heresy. I know it's the beginning of the timeline, but it's not the beginning for new readers. The Horus Heresy is 60-plus books, and it assumes you already care about these characters. Start with standalone novels or short series first. Here's the perfect beginner reading path. Start with 15 Hours by Mitchell Scanlon. It's a standalone Imperial Guard novel about a soldier's first day in combat. It's short, it's brutal, it shows you what 40,000 feels like at ground level. After that, read Horus Rising by Dan Abnett. Now you're ready for the heresy because you understand the setting. Then read the Eisenhorn trilogy by Dan Abnett. It's 3 books about an inquisitor, and it's the best written 40k series period. After that, you can read anything. You'll have the foundation. If you want a different path, here's an alternative. Start with Space Marine by Ian Watson. It's old and weird, but it throws you into the setting with no hand-holding. Or start with Gaunt's Ghosts by Dan Abnett, which is Band of Brothers in Space. Or start with the Kane series by Sandy Mitchell, which is Comedy 40k. All of these work. The key is start somewhere. Don't get paralyzed by choice. Pick a book and read it. Now, let's talk about the factions, because you need to pick one that speaks to you. I'm going to give you a one-sentence pitch for every major faction, and you tell me which one sounds cool. Imperium of Man. Fascist, human empire worshipping a corpse god, barely holding together through faith and violence. If you like grim authoritarianism and heroism born from desperation, this is you. Space Marines. 8-foot-tall, genetically engineered super soldiers in power armor, humanity's greatest warriors. If you like super soldiers and knightly orders, this is you. Imperial Guard. Normal humans with flashlights and guts fighting aliens and demons. They die by the billions, but they never stop. If you like Band of Brothers or Saving Private Ryan in space, this is you. Adeptus Mechanicus. Cyborg tech priests who worship machines as gods and hoard ancient technology. If you like transhumanism and religious tech cults, this is you. Sisters of Battle. Nuns with guns and flamethrowers, fueled by faith so strong they perform miracles. If you like Joan of Arc with a bolter, this is you. Chaos Space Marines. Traitor Space Marines corrupted by hell, serving the dark gods for power and revenge. If you like tragic villains and body horror, this is you. Chaos Demons. Literal demons from the warp. Manifestations of emotion and madness. If you like cosmic horror and corruption, this is you. Orcs. Green space football hooligans who live to fight. Their technology works because they believe it does. If you like dumb fun and comedy, this is you. Tyranids. Infinite alien swarm from beyond the galaxy, consuming all biomass, controlled by a hive mind. If you like alien or starship troopers, this is you. Eldar. Dying space elves clinging to survival after their empire fell. Every death is permanent and irreplaceable. If you like tragic high fantasy in space, this is you. Dark Eldar. Space elf pirates who torture people to stave off having their souls eaten by a chaos god they accidentally created. If you like Hellraiser in space, this is you. Tau. Idealistic aliens preaching unity and the greater good. Naive to how dark the galaxy really is. If you like Gundam mechs and optimism doomed to fail, this is you. Necrons. Ancient Egyptian robot skeletons who gave up their souls for immortality and now want revenge on the living. If you like Terminator or Ancient Curses, this is you. One of those factions spoke to you. That's your entry point. Learn about that faction first. Don't try to learn them all. Now, let's talk about the tabletop game. This is Warhammer 40K's origin. It's a miniature war game where you build an army, paint the models, and fight battles against other players. It's expensive, it's time-consuming, and it's incredibly rewarding. Here's how to start. First, don't buy anything yet. Go to your local game store and ask if they have demo games. Most stores will let you try Warhammer with borrowed armies so you can see if you like it. Games Workshop stores specifically do free intro games. Do that first. Second, if you decide you like it, buy a Combat Patrol box. Combat Patrols are pre-made army boxes with about 500 points worth of models. They cost around $150, which is expensive, but it's a full playable army in one box. Every faction has a combat patrol. buy the one for the faction you think looks cool. Third, watch a painting tutorial. Warhammer TV on YouTube has painting guides for every faction. Start with contrast paints. Contrast paints are magic paint that does shading automatically. They make painting way easier for beginners. Buy the paints you need, watch the tutorial, paint your models. Your first models will look bad. That's fine. Everyone's first models look bad. You'll get better. Fourth, learn the rules. The core rules are free on Warhammer Community website. Download them, read them. Watch a battle report on YouTube to see how games flow. Tabletop, Titans, and Winter's SEO do great battle reports. Once you understand the basics, play your first game at your local store. Fifth, decide if you want to keep going. Warhammer is expensive. A full 2,000-point army can cost $500 to $1,000 depending on the faction. You need paints, brushes, glue, books. It adds up. But if you love it, it's worth it. You'll spend hundreds of hours building, painting, and playing. It's a real hobby. Here's my honest advice. If you just want to engage with Warhammer lore, you don't need to play the tabletop game. But if you want the full experience, if you want to be part of the community, the tabletop is where it's at. There's something magical about playing with models you painted yourself. Now, let's talk video games because this might be the easiest entry point. There are dozens of Warhammer 40K video games, and some are incredible. Here's where to start. If you like third-person action games, play Space Marine 2. It just came out. It's gorgeous, and it's the best representation of what it feels like to be a Space Marine. You're 8 feet tall, you're slaughtering hundreds of Tyranids, and you feel like a god of war. It's incredible, and it requires zero prior knowledge. If you like strategy games, play Dawn of War 1 and its expansions. Dawn of War is a real-time strategy game from 2004, and it's still the best 40K game ever made. The expansions, Dark Crusade and Soulstorm, are perfect. You can play as every faction. The campaigns are great, and it teaches you the lore naturally. If you like turn-based tactics, play Mechanicus. It's a tactics game where you play as the Adeptus Mechanicus exploring Necron tomb worlds. It's XCOM meets 40K, and it's fantastic. If you like CRPGs, play Rogue Trader. It's a massive RPG where you play as a rogue trader exploring the edges of the Imperium. It's 100+ hours of content, and it's incredible if you like deep RPGs. If you like shooters, play Darktide. It's Left 4 Dead in a Warhammer Hive city. You're playing as normal humans fighting heretics and demons. It's brutal and atmospheric. If you like survival horror, play Space Hulk Deathwing. It's a first-person shooter where you're a Terminator Space Marine exploring a derelict space station full of gen-stealers. It's tense and scary. There are bad Warhammer games too. Eternal Crusade was bad. Some of the mobile games are cash grabs, but the good ones are really good. Video games are honestly the best entry point for people who don't want to read or play tabletop. Now, let's talk about the community, because Warhammer 40K has one of the best and worst communities in geek culture. The good. The 40K community is passionate, creative, and welcoming to people who genuinely want to learn. You'll find incredible artists, writers, painters, and players who love sharing their hobby. The memes are top tier. Grimdank subreddit is hilarious. The fan animations are incredible, even though Games Workshop keeps trying to shut them down. The bad. There's gatekeeping. Some veteran fans will quiz you or mock you for not knowing lore. Ignore them. There's also a small but loud group of people who don't understand that 40K is satire, and they genuinely think the Imperium's fascism is good. These people are idiots. The Imperium is explicitly the bad guys. If someone tells you the Imperium is right, they missed the point. But overall, the community is great. Reddit has r/Warhammer40k and r/40k lore, which are both helpful. YouTube has thousands of creators. Discord servers exist for every faction. Your local game store probably has a 40k night. Get involved. Ask questions. People want to help new fans. Now, let me address common mistakes new fans make so you can avoid them. Mistake 1. Trying to learn everything at once. You can't. 40k is too big. Pick one faction, one book, one game. Start small. You'll naturally expand over time. Mistake 2. Starting with the Horus Heresy books. Don't. Start with standalone novels. The heresy is better when you already understand the setting. Mistake 3. Worrying about what's canon. 40k doesn't have hard canon. Everything is told from unreliable narrators. Even official sources contradict each other. That's intentional. Embrace the ambiguity. Mistake 4. Feeling bad about not knowing lore. Nobody knows all the lore. Not even the writers. If someone makes you feel dumb for asking a question, they're the problem, not you. Mistake 5. Buying too many models before you know if you like painting. Start with one box. Paint those models. Then buy more. Don't buy a whole army on day 1. Mistake 6. Thinking you need to play the tabletop to be a real fan. You don't. Plenty of people just read the books or play the games. It's all valid. Mistake 7. Getting into lore arguments on the internet. Don't. 40,000 fans will argue forever about stupid details. Just enjoy the setting your way. Now, let's talk about the different eras of 40k because the timeline is confusing. There are 3 main periods you'll encounter in the lore. The Horus Heresy. This happened 10,000 years before the current setting. It's when the Emperor's son Horus betrayed him and half the Space Marine legions turned traitor. The heresy lasted 7 years and nearly destroyed humanity. It's told in a 60-plus book series. It's prequel content. You don't need to start here, but eventually you'll want to read it. The 41st Millennium. This is classic 40k, the time period from the 1980s until 2017 in real-world time. Most novels are set here. The Emperor has been on the Golden Throne for 10,000 years. The Imperium is slowly dying. This is peak grimdark. If someone recommends an older novel, it's probably set here, the Indomitus Crusade and current era. In 2017, Games Workshop advanced the timeline. Guilliman, one of the Primarchs, returned from stasis. He launched the Indomitus Crusade to save the Imperium. Primaries Space Marines were introduced. Cadia fell, and the galaxy split in half by a warp rift. This is where the current setting is. It's controversial because some fans think it ruined the Grimdark by giving the Imperium hope. Personally, I think it's fine. The setting is still dark. You'll encounter all three eras in books and games. Just be aware of when things are set so you're not confused. Now, let's talk about the factions in more detail because you need to understand what each army actually does on the tabletop and in the lore. Space Marines are the poster boys. They're in every starter set, every major story, every game. They're popular because they're awesome. But here's the thing. Space Marines are divided into chapters. There are 1,000 chapters, and each has its own culture, tactics, and specialties. Ultramarines are the generic good guys. Blood Angels are vampires who fight a curse. Space Wolves are Viking werewolves. Dark Angels are knights with a dark secret. Black Templars are crusading zealots. Each chapter feels different. If you like Space Marines, pick a chapter that matches your personality. Imperial Guard are normal humans. They're the backbone of the Imperium. 1 trillion guardsmen die every day and nobody cares. They have terrible equipment, terrible leadership, and they're expected to fight aliens and demons with flashlights and bayonets. But they do it anyway because they're brave or stupid or both. Guard are the everyman faction. Their stories are tragic and heroic. Gaunt's Ghosts is the best Guard series. Chaos Space Marines are traitors. They were once loyal Space Marines, but they turned to Chaos for power, revenge, or because they were manipulated. Some regret it. Some embrace it. They're tragic villains. The Night Lords trilogy is the best Chaos series because it shows Chaos Marines who hate Chaos but are stuck with it. Orcs are comic relief, but also terrifying. They're a parody of football hooligans, but they're also a galaxy-wide threat. Orcs grow from spores, so you can never exterminate them. They're basically indestructible, and they only care about fighting. Orc stories are fun, but don't underestimate them. A Wog can conquer entire sectors. Tyranids are cosmic horror. They're not evil, they're hungry. The hive mind is intelligent, but alien. You can't negotiate with Tyranids. You can't reason with them. They just consume everything. Tyranid stories are terrifying because they're an inevitable extinction event. Eldar are tragic. They used to rule the galaxy, but they fell because of their own hubris. They created Slanesh, a chaos god, by being too decadent. Now they're dying out. Every Eldar life is precious because they don't reproduce fast. Eldar are manipulative and arrogant, but they're also desperate. They'll sacrifice human worlds to save one Eldar. It's morally gray, and that's what makes them interesting. Tau are naive idealists. They believe in the greater good, a philosophy of unity and progress. They're the closest thing to good guys in 40K, but they're also propagandists who brainwash people. The Tau don't realize how dark the galaxy is. They think they can win through diplomacy and technology. They're wrong, but they haven't figured it out yet. Necrons are angry grandpas. They used to be a mortal race called the Necron Tire. They made a deal with the Satan star gods to become immortal robots. It worked, but they lost their souls. Now they're waking up after 60 million years of sleep, and they want their bodies back. Necrons are tragic and terrifying. Some are comedic, like Trazyn, who collects things. Some are horrifying, like the flayed ones who wear skin. Pick the faction that sounds interesting and learn about them. Don't try to learn all of them. Now, let's talk about where the setting is going, because Games Workshop is actively developing the story. Gilliman is back, and he's trying to reform the Imperium. Abaddon split the galaxy with the Great Rift. The Lion returned, which means more Primarchs might come back. Vashtor is trying to become a fifth Chaos God. The Tyranids are approaching from every direction. The Silent King is trying to find a way to reverse biotransference. The setting is moving forward for the first time in decades. Some fans love it. Some fans hate it. But it means there's never been a better time to get into 40K because things are actually happening. Here's my reading list for new fans broken down by interest. If you want Space Marine Heroics, read Horus Rising, then the Uriel Ventress series. If you want Imperial Guard Grit, read 15 Hours, then Gaunt's Ghosts. If you want Inquisition Mysteries, read Eisenhorn Trilogy, then Ravenor Trilogy. If you want Chaos Tragedy, read The First Heretic, then Night Lord's Trilogy. If you want Xenos Perspectives, read Path of the Eldar, or The Infinite and the Divine. If you want horror, read Dead Men Walking or Firecast. All of those are great entry points. Here's my video game list. Best Action Game, Space Marine 2. Best Strategy Game, Dawn of War 1 with expansions. Best Tactics Game, Mechanicus. Best RPG, Rogue Trader. Best Co-op Shooter, Darktide. Start with any of those. Here's my tabletop advice. Go to your local store. Ask for a demo game. If you like it, buy a combat patrol of the faction you think looks coolest. Watch a painting tutorial. Start painting. Don't worry about being good, just have fun. Play some games. Decide if you want to keep going. Now, let me give you the 1-hour crash course on the setting itself so you have context for everything. It's the 41st millennium. Humanity rules 1,000,000 worlds, but we're dying. 10,000 years ago, the Emperor of Mankind unified Terra, created 20 Primarchs who were basically demigod generals, and launched the Great Crusade to conquer the galaxy. It worked. Humanity controlled most of the galaxy. But then Horus, the greatest Primarch, was corrupted by chaos. Half the Space Marine legions turned traitor. The Horus heresy lasted 7 years and nearly destroyed humanity. The Emperor killed Horus but was mortally wounded. He's been sitting on the Golden Throne for 10,000 years, technically alive but barely functional. His psychic power holds back the demons and guides ships through the warp. If he dies, humanity dies. The Imperium is now a theocracy. The Emperor is worshipped as a god, even though he hated religion. The Ecclesiarchy spreads the imperial cult. The Adeptus Mechanicus hoards technology. The Inquisition hunts heretics, mutants, and aliens. The Imperial Guard fights and dies by the billions. Space Marines are rare and revered as angels of death. Most humans live in hive cities where billions are crammed into massive urban hells. Life is cheap. The Imperium kills more of its own citizens than aliens do. Outside the Imperium, chaos corrupts everything. The warp is hell, and 4 chaos gods rule it. Khorne, the god of war and blood. Nurgle, the butt of disease and decay. Tzinch, the god of schemes and change. Slaanesh, the god of excess and pleasure. Chaos wants to corrupt the galaxy and turn it into a nightmare. Chaos Space Marines serve the dark gods. Demons invade reality through warp rifts. The Xenos are everywhere. Orcs fight for fun and spread across the galaxy like a plague. Tyranids are coming from beyond the galaxy to consume all life. Eldar are dying but still manipulate galactic events. Dark Eldar raid from the webway to steal souls. Tau expand their empire, preaching the greater good. Necrons are waking up and reclaiming the galaxy they ruled 60 million years ago. Nobody's winning. Everyone's losing. The Imperium is collapsing. Chaos is growing. The Tyranids are endless. The Necrons are unstoppable. The Orcs are everywhere. And there's no hope. That's Warhammer 40k. Grimdark forever. But here's why it's great. The stories are incredible because everything's hopeless. When a character succeeds, it matters more because success is so rare. When humanity wins a battle, it's a miracle. The Grimdark makes the heroism mean something. Now, let me give you some final advice. Don't be intimidated. Yes, 40,000 is huge, but you don't need to know everything to enjoy it. Start small. Pick one faction, read one book, play one game. You'll naturally want to learn more. Don't worry about what's official or canon. 40k is told from unreliable narrators. Even contradictions are intentional. Just enjoy the stories. Don't let anyone gatekeep you. If someone quizzes you on lore or mocks you for being new, ignore them. Real fans want new people to join. Don't feel pressured to buy models if you just want the lore. You can be a fan without playing the tabletop. Don't start with the Horus Heresy. Start with standalone books. Don't argue about lore online. It's not worth it. Do ask questions. The community is mostly helpful. Do pick a faction and dive deep on them. Do watch lore videos to supplement your reading. Do play the video games. They're a great entry point. Do have fun. That's the whole point. Here's my ultimate beginner path. Week 1. Watch Bricky's Warhammer 40k explained videos to get the overview. Week 2. Pick a faction that sounds cool. Week 3. Read a novel about that faction. I recommend 15 Hours for Guard, Horus Rising for Space Marines, Brutal Kunin for Orcs, or Devastation of Baal for Tyranids. Week 4. Play a video game. Space Marine 2 if you have a good PC or console. Dawn of War 1 if you like strategy. Week 5. Watch lore videos about your faction. Week 6. Decide if you want to go deeper. If yes, buy more books. If you want tabletop, go to your local store for a demo. That's 6 weeks. By then you'll know if 40k is for you. And if it is, welcome to the Grimdark. You're going to love it here. Let me end with this. Warhammer 40k is special because it's unapologetically dark but also earnestly heroic. The Imperium is evil, but the soldiers fighting for it are heroes. Chaos is tempting, but also horrifying. The Xenos are alien, but also understandable. Everything is morally gray. There are no good guys, but there are people worth rooting for. It's a setting where a guardsman with a lasgun can be just as heroic as a space marine, where a single person can make a difference even if the galaxy is doomed, where hope exists even though it probably shouldn't. That's why people love 40K, not because it's dark, but because it's dark and it still has heroes. So welcome. You're about to enter a universe where there is only war, where in the grim darkness of the far future there is no peace among the stars, where 1 trillion souls are sacrificed every day so that humanity can survive one more day. It's going to be great. Pick your faction. Read your first book. Play your first game. And remember, the Emperor protects, even if he's a corpse on a golden throne. Thanks for watching. If this helped, hit subscribe because I'm making more beginner guides, more lore deep dives, more everything 40K. Drop a comment telling me which faction you picked. I want to know what drew you in. And if you're a veteran fan watching this, don't gatekeep. Help the new fans. We want more people in this hobby, not fewer. For the Emperor, for the Omniscia, for the greater good, for the Wa, for whatever god or ideology you choose. Welcome to Warhammer 40,000.